Hello, and welcome to this week's PennEnergy News Update. I'm Hilton Price. The Nigerian branch of Shell was forced to shut down one of its main oil pipelines due to a major fire caused by oil thieves. The pipeline is responsible for feeding the prominent Bonny terminal, which has a production of around 150,000 barrels per day. The Bonny terminal produces Nigeria's benchmark crude oil, Bonny Light Crude, and accounts for around 10% of the country's exports. Fuel thieves are responsible for an annual loss of more than 150,000 barrels per day. U.S. production of unconventional oil could spur a major downturn for the global oil tanker industry, according to Platts. A new report from Norwegian financial services firm DNB suggests that oil tanker fleet growth rate could fall by more than half by next year, from 9% this year to only 4% next year. By 2014, the report projects the industry will not actually see any growth in fleet sizes or in overall usage. However, utilization rates are likely to pick up slowly after falling sharply next year, but that's in large part thanks to the slow growth in fleet sizes. Royal Vopak, Greenergy, and Shell UK Limited have completed the purchase of assets of the former Corryton refinery. The transaction was originally announced back in June. The three companies plan to develop and invest in the facility, renaming it the Thames Oil Port. The facility will be managed by Vopak. The initial storage capacity will be around 500,000 cubic meters, with potential to expand to up to 1 million cubic meters in later stages. Support for hydraulic fracturing and opposition to increased regulation is on the rise, according to a new survey. This as the natural gas industry continues to push the benefits of the process for the U.S. economy. As recently as this past March, 65% of respondents wanted to increase regulations on fracking. That number dropped dramatically in the latest survey, falling to only 56% in September. The change could be attributed to fading worries about notable incidents in places like Pennsylvania and Wyoming, but critics argue that the new support stems from a raft of pro-fracking ads. However, opposition remains in places like upstate New York, where many homeowners are concerned that the process could damage the environment. A group of top Republican senators objected to the proposed release of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve in a letter to President Barack Obama. The White House has regularly suggested the possibility of using the SPR to help push down the high current oil prices over the past few months. However, Republicans insist the SPR should be treated as a last resort, rather than using it to respond to normal spikes in the market. Legislators have also called on the president to issue a plan for refilling the SPR to the level seen before last year's coordinated release. Thank you for joining us this week. For these stories and more, head to PennEnergy.com.